Hi, in this video, we want to take a look at dictionaries in Python. All right, so dictionaries are a format of data storage where we can quickly reference the data that we want very quickly, very easily. And they're a really good way to take a look at, to organize the data that you have. And they can handle some pretty complicated data formats also. So first thing I want to do is, of course, just set up my working directory. I'm going to import pandas because we're going to be doing some stuff with pandas as always. So now, if I want to be able to reference between different, like I want to be able to put an entry in and get some information back, just like in a real dictionary, I'm going to use a dictionary for this. So run through this. All right, so now here I've got the 50 states, and here I have their capitals in the correct order. Now I'm going to create a dictionary. All right, so what I want you to pay attention to is that for this dictionary, I'm calling all of this is being called state by the dictionary, and all of this is being called capital in the dictionary. Now you'll notice I've got apostrophes open and close around state, apostrophe open and close around capital, and I've got a colon here. The colon, to the left of the colon is the name of what I want to call it or how I want to reference it, and to the right is the item itself. So here, capital is the item I'm interested in, and the apostrophes, capital is the name I want to give this one item. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at what this looks like. All right, so let's look through. I went ahead and printed the whole thing, and you'll notice I've got the curly brackets, state, and then colon, and it lists out all the states. And if I look through here, eventually after it gets to the after it gets done with Texas, we have capital, colon, and then all the capitals, and then down here curly bracket. Okay, that's good. Well, let's go ahead and see what is the type that we have. It's a dictionary. Now, something that we can do really easily, we can convert a dictionary to a data frame using the pandas data frame function. Very intuitive, very natural, very nice. So boom, I do that. So now let's go ahead and print it out. So let's look at this. I'm gonna hit Control L so we can take a look at this, how we had. All right, here's the dictionary format. All right, so here, all the information is here, but it's not really in readable format for humans. This is set up for the computer to be able to reference it, not for me to be able to reference it. So if I put it in this format, using the data frame function, we can see that everything's paired up nicely. And we can see that we have a state column and a capital column. And notice that the index starts at 0 for the row numbers, because if I go all the way down, it looks like I only have 49 states, but we know there's 50. So remember that 0 is always the beginning in Python. Not always, but for the stuff we're doing so far. All right, so now let's see. We can also take a look at indices. So remember that if I want to be able to pull off like a particular location, the number-wise, the location of an item. So here I take the state. Here I've got state, this beautiful, beautiful vector. And what I want to do, I want to figure out which position has Florida in it. So I'm going to go state.index, and then I call Florida. And if we take a look, that's the 31st position in this vector. Okay, so now what we can do, if I want to know what is the capital of Florida, I can call the number index underscore Florida. So this is going to be the number 31 is slapped in here. And we can see it's Tallahassee. Now, since capital is a vector, I can go ahead and throw a number in there. If I want to do the same thing on my data frame, that we built up previously, remember I need to do index location, iLock, index location, and then I'm putting 31 into here. And you'll notice it gives me everything from the 31st row of that data set, of that data frame. Okay, all right, now let's take a look. Well, keys. Keys are the items that I pull information on. So when I type something in to a dictionary, I type in the key and it spits back all the information associated with that key. So what are the keys for this dictionary that I've built so far? All right, well, I've got state and I've got capital. All right, I mean, that's not surprising. So what happens if we go ahead and press capital? And we can see that it just lists out the original thing that we typed in. Not too shabby. All right, now let's mix it up a little bit. Now on this one, I'm going to go with the smaller set, just to make it a little bit easier to understand what's going on. So remember in my dictionary previously, I had state with a long vector. I had capital with a long vector. Now what I'm going to do, I have California, Sacramento, Oregon, Salem, Washington, Olympia. Up here, remember I had state, entire vector, capital, entire vector. How is this going to change the output? Well, let's find out. I know you're super excited about this. So remember, I'm pressing F9 on my Spider machine, and it executes. All right, so now let's go ahead and print up and see how this looks. Okay, now this is a little bit different than what we had before. Because remember, previously, we had state, then we had everything that was in that state vector. We had capital and everything that was in that capital vector. Let's go ahead and just take a look. I'm going to clear this. So if I print this, notice the format of how this is printed up. Here I've got state, then the entire vector is coming through here. State, entire vector. Then we have capital, then the entire vector. I'm just going to stop right there. And just to emphasize, so capital, then the entire vector is listed in there. If I look over here at this is very different because it's going state, then capital, state, capital, state, capital. All right, so up here, when I was talking about the original dictionary, if I wanted to call something, I had to call the entire vector of it. So when I typed in state, it gave me the entire vector of states. When I typed in capital, it gave me the entire vector of capitals. When I come up to this, let's take a look at what are my keys, what can I type in to have information pulled out. Well, it says I can pull out information for California or Oregon or Washington. So now this is at an individual item level instead of entire vector level. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this. What happens if I just type in Oregon? And it gives me Salem. All right, that's correct. I wonder how many of my Florida students do not know the capital of Oregon. All right, now let's mix this up. Let's see what happens if I wanted to do the same thing. I want to call Oregon's information in the state dictionary that we built. Oh, there's an error, a key error. You see that we have a key error here? All right, so what's going on is that we didn't set up Oregon to be an item to be called in this manner for the original state dictionary. So I'm going to go ahead and comment that out because that's wrong. I'm going to put does not work. Okay, well, what if I wanted to add something to my dictionary? Okay, well, if I want to add something, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the dictionary name, then I'm going to say the item, how I want to have it referenced, and then the information that's pertinent. So I'm going to go dictionary West Coast, Hawaii equals Honolulu, and then I'm going to go dictionary West Coast, Alaska equals Juneau. And now let's take a look. What happens? Well, let's see. We have added on, we have Hawaii and Honolulu, we have Alaska and Juneau. But then, you know, our office manager comes up, what are you doing? You're an idiot. Hawaii isn't on the West Coast. Alaska, I'm not going to accept that as the West Coast just because it's too far north. And so your office manager tells you you have to delete those two from the dictionary. Well, how do we do that? We do that with the DEL function. So I'm going to use DEL. I'm going to delete dictionary. I'm going to reference Hawaii, delete dictionary referencing Alaska. Boom, boom. And let's see what happens. All right, it's back to how it was before, which is how it should be. All right, well, dictionaries are powerful. Dictionaries are very useful. Let's look at a situation where I have more than one piece of information to reference off of, to pull out of my dictionary. So here I'm going to make a dictionary for Europe. Here we've got Spain, France, Germany, Norway. And I've got capital Madrid, population of Spain. Then I've got Paris and the population, Berlin and the population, Oslo and the population. Now you'll notice that inside here, I have a dictionary inside a dictionary. And I'm calling it Spain. I've got a dictionary inside a dictionary, and I'm calling it France. I've got a dictionary inside a dictionary, and we're calling it Germany. And I bet you know what I'm about to say for Norway. We have a dictionary inside a dictionary. Okay, so when I do this, when we build this, I'm going to highlight it, press F9, and let's go ahead and print out my dictionary. All right, so I can see that we have Spain and then its information in dictionary format, France and its dictionary, and so on. So now, how do we reference this? Well, what I'm going to do, I want to go dictionary Europe, and I'm going to call France as an example. And you see that pulls out everything I entered over here when I entered just France. Now, what happens if I call France and then capital? I get Paris. If I call France and then population, I get the individual piece of information. Now, something that's important about this is I can't go capital then France. I can't go population then France. I can't do population capital. There's like a nested sequence with this. So France is like more outside. So I have to call that first, and then I call capital. I can't do capital France and expect to get anything out. All right, so now what if I want to add something onto here in this format? Well, it's just like we did before, like we did with the Honolulu and the Juneau example, except when I'm adding something on, I'm just tacking on a new dictionary, which is easy peasy lemon squeezy. And there we go. We can see that Italy now is in our dictionary, and we've got the data exactly where we want it to be. Now, dictionaries are great, but maybe we want to have it in a data frame. Maybe, let's see what happens. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take the data frame function from pandas. I'm going to drop the dictionary straight in, and then we're going to see what happens. Okay, so check this out. What happened? It took the dictionary names, the first level of names, and those correspond to my columns. And then it took the second level of names and made them into rows. So now this really is not a very good format if I'm interested in working with this as a data frame itself, because as a data frame, I would want capitals in a column and population in a column, because we want the same data type in a column, not in rows. So I would need to take the transpose of this, but we're going to save that for another day. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying healthy. Let me know if you have any difficulties, and take care.